Hi everyone, my name is Mae.
Hi, Karen here.
Welcome to Boomers to Gen Z, and today is a cool topic. So we're going to be talking about what it was like growing up in the 80s. So Karen.
Growing up in
Karen!
the 80s. Oh my god. Okay,
So-
what do you want to know?
Okay, let's go through a timeline, right? So when you were like 15, 16, what was your hangout? Like, do you hang out with friends? Is that
Yeah.
what do you do?
What did we do?
What did they get up to, right?
It was wholesome fun. So
Elaborate,
we
please.
will always go out in groups.
Okay.
I was in an all-girls school called Convent Bukit Nanas, which you wouldn't know, by the way. And so we would go out in groups, and I started kind of dating at 14, which is in those days it was very early. Yeah.
So what was that like? So what is dating back then?
Dating means it would always be a group thing. It's not just two of us. It would always be a group thing. Those days it was ice skating
Okay.
or something we would do. And those days it was in PJ there was a place that we could do ice skating. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was one of those things. Bowling.
Okay.
So we would do bowling. The malls were not as nice as it is now,
Okay.
so we don't really hit the malls, but and then we would usually like hang out in a friend's home, and we are all eating and chatting and with some music and stuff like that. It was not it wasn't like private meals and expensive meals kind of thing that you guys do these days.
How do you plan it? So did you call each other on house phones?
Yes, house phones. The one that goes.
Okay, and like, do you plan it beforehand and then everyone meets here and then your parents sort of drop you there using public transport?
Well, okay, so public transport we do, and then those days
No Grab.
no Grab. It cost us what, 30 cents or 50 cents from my grandma's place down to KLCC area.
Okay.
It was still cheap. Think about it.
Yeah, 30 cents.
And we memories. My goodness, they're funny you should ask, but I remember whenever it was Chinese New Year or the Hari Raya or the Deepavali, we always had a group of us, and all of us will be like this little bunch of hooligans taking the public transport from one person's house to another person's house and eat our way throughout.
That sounds so fun though.
It is so much fun, and we are all sweaty, and we are all like trying to look cool in the bus.
Sitting at the back of the bus?
Yes,
of course.
yes,
Like the movies.
And I remember one friend, her mom makes the most awesome dry version of a rendang.
Okay.
I still think about it. I got salivating, and it's so good, and we always look forward to go there. And then everyone would go for the Chinese homes when it's Chinese New Year. It's always ang pao going there. And then in the Hari Raya get ketupat with the rendang, and then Deepavali we all go to this other friend's house, and we'll be just like eating our way through the ceremonies. It was so much fun.
And when did you start being a little naughtier? So when did you start drinking? What age was that? You can be honest. Your mom's not gonna see it.
Drinking, I didn't drink so early. I think it was more like 18 before I started drinking.
Was it legal or did it?
I can't remember because I didn't drink much. We were not really exposed to alcohol so much. But because I did leave home for further education, where I was, smoking was a very cool thing. So at the minute I arrived, in less than a few months, I started picking up to smoke because it was cool. It was,
Okay, of course.
yeah, and we
Yeah,
were,
actually, if you think about it back then, like you see a lot of like women smoking more socially.
yeah,
Then now it's again frowned upon.
exactly. and you know, when you are in your, you know, 18, 19, you know, that kind of age group, you want to fit in, you want to look cool. So, you know, you do stupid things.
So did you hit the discos, Karen? They were called discos.
Discos. Oh my
Clubs?
God. Discos.
Was there a disco ball?
Yep, disco balls
Oh my
happened.
goodness.
Yes, there were disco balls.
That's what we call antique.
And listen to,
What song?
oh my God.
What were
Okay.
the jams?
Okay, so I personally, I love jazz music. So
Okay.
I would, you know, we enjoyed listening. That time, Sheila Majid, I don't think you know her. But
Sing a little bit.
Oh, antara ai dan Jakarta,
No.
kita jatuh.
I don't know that song.
So yeah, so it was it's so much fun because we would hit the jazz clubs, and we get to watch, you know, Sheila Majid in person.
Oh,
and,
wow.
and now she's like this mega star, right? But it was just the best memories. And then we have you know, in Malaysian then had a big, it's like the another singer, I can't remember his name now, but he sang this song which was called Hijau, and you know, it was so poignant, great musician. I don't know the ones now. I don't know the Malaysian music scene now, to be honest.
It's so funny because I don't think like now a lot of Malaysian artists, well, the ones that I know that are really popular are actually they sing in English.
Yeah.
That's like that's a big change. Like thinking about it.
Yeah, and it was those days where we didn't have a lot of conversations with our parents about sex and all those things. So, but also for me again, we didn't experiment with sex that young. But it was always a group outing, and we would go to a restaurant together or the roadside kind of cafes. And I mean, in my version, a more healthy, wholesome kind of fun kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think that what we do is not wholesome, Karen?
No, I just think it's different.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
very
think,
different.
yeah, and that you guys would go to the mall and hit the shopping scene. Or that's what I see anyway. What do you guys do?
Like, okay, when I was about 16, 17, then we would do that because that's a place that our parents would allow us to go to. I think you're like in the final 2 years of like high school, that age group. So your parents are okay with you going to the mall. They would like drop us off, or like one parent would drop off a few of us.
Yeah.
And then pick us up at a certain time and just tell us where to be. Of course, we had our phones, so we make plans via text messages.
None of that in my days.
But actually, we would just kind of like loiter. We'd loiter, we'd buy Starbucks, walk around. Yeah, it's just like lepa. And actually, like a really significant thing, especially in Penang, was like at Gurney, we had like where the McDonald's is. It used to be like a seating area. There's a cafe now, but like you would see like all of the schools kind of gather there on the weekends. So you'd know that you meet your friends there, and you just like chit chat. Some people would be like skateboarding. We just sort of like chill, and then we go buy like food. But we wouldn't really like sit in a restaurant and stuff. It depends on how much money your parents have given you for that weekend, right? So we would buy like McDonald's and just like sort of like just chill together.
Okay.
So that's like one thing that we do, and then like as I got older, of course, like we started drinking.
So when did you experiment?
About like 17, 18.
Okay.
And it started actually like it started when I was in the UK. So like they would go to like the off license and they would buy liquor, and then we'd just, like sit in like a park or something with like our friends, and it was always groups as well. Of course, I think that like at my age group, some people started experimenting with sex younger.
Right.
And I think that that's just due to freedom and lack of knowledge and Whereas our parents didn't have those conversations with us either.
True.
I think that maybe because you guys were not thinking about it at that age, perhaps that makes me think that maybe my mom didn't talk to me about it because she was just thinking that I wouldn't be thinking about it at that age or be exposed to it yet.
Right.
But yeah, I think we have a lot more fun, but I think that it is less wholesome because when we go out, we're taking pictures of us out. We're so busy doing that
The
to show
selfies.
people, to show people that we're out. Oh, look at us, we're having fun. Whereas with you guys, I think it's a bit more present, isn't it? You're more
Yeah, we didn't have the distraction of the mobile phone. Exactly. So and definitely we don't have the culture of selfie and refies and all these things.
You're not vain.
No, and sports. I mean, for me, sports was a big thing. So we would play games and that was a big part of our outings as well, swimming, stuff like that. So we were definitely a lot more active than the generation today. And so when with my children, I always encourage them to get involved in sports and things like that, because I just think sports is just a great tool to have wholesome fun, exercise your body, and as well as meet new people.
Yeah, that's true. So like I'm not very sporty, but like I remember we used to go play badminton every now and again on the
So
weekend.
much fun.
Yeah, it's just like go to the badminton court. The boys never let us play futsal with them. But we would try. Like we would try to involve ourselves, but they wouldn't play properly. It wasn't us, it was them.
Or maybe they were scared of you.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But Karen, I also want to know, what did you wear?
What was the
fashion
Oh my god!
in the
Okay.
80s? What was
It
your
was-
go-to outfit?
Well, jeans, but supremely high-waisted ones.
Skinny, flary?
More flary.
Flary jeans.
Okay.
Okay.
And I can't pinpoint really because I'm not. No crop tops. No. I think I was quite old-fashioned. I mean, I don't remember. To be honest, I don't remember what I used to wear.
You should like go through all her albums and find.
Right. But I know that I dress quite conservatively. In fact, it's like as I got older, I got a bit more ambitious or more daring with my outfits. But when I was younger, I was just it's generally and we had school uniforms. So most of the time we're living in our school uniform. So it's like we finish school, we won't bother going home. We will be in our uniform and we were running around. Then after that, So I don't remember.
It's a fun time. Like I know that like my generation, we appreciate a lot of the 80s music. So like on Spotify and stuff, and even in the clubs they have like
music.
They have like 80s night,
Right.
Where we enjoy like the old school stuff. It is a lot of like R&B at that time.
Yes, and they, mind you, those are good music because you still hear them today.
Yes, it is. It's really good because they actually have lyrics that are worth something. I feel like nowadays people are
screaming and shouting and
artists are starting to make music for TikTok. Like they're making music that will trend on social media.
Right.
So you're not really getting good quality songs throughout. You might get a good quality like chorus or verse because they're just thinking about that 15-second, 30-second clip.
Also, it's not a long.
It's a long
song.
It's a long duration song. It's just that everything else is like bad, and maybe like one part is good. Like they're not focusing on creating like a nice long song that has a good story to it, good lyrics, good beat. It's just like they just want clips of the song to do well.
I didn't realize that.
So I think that a lot of us do go back and start listening to like the 80s music because it's just a lot more character.
I still play them, unfortunately, to my children.
Fortunately.
I love them. Some of my favorite were the Duran Duran and Spandau Ballet, which I don't think you know.
No, she lost me.
And love R&B, like Anita Baker and Luther Vandross. James Ingram, those are really, really good. So yeah, classics that will always stay with us. Music is a big part of me because I really enjoy it, and yeah, I think what the beauty of music, it transcends everything, right? It transcends time and cultures, and it just brings people together, right?
Yeah, and I think that's something that's nice because when we think about boomers to Gen Z and we think about the divide in so many conversations and topics and stuff, I think that one thing that we can relate to is when we talk about um, how boomers were at our age, because there's definitely going to be a lot more similarities. Your hee moments and your little naughty moments and your good moments and the things that you discovered at that age group. And it's nice to know that your generation can remember that and also relate to us and not just be like, oh no, I didn't do that. Oh, that wasn't me.
Exactly.
So the authenticity in that conversation is
Correct.
nice.
And I think it's something that if you as a mother having difficulty to connect with your 20-year-old, maybe start talking about this, and then you may be actually quite surprised that you have more in common than you think, right?
Yes, exactly. And it would be nice for us to then understand how did you mitigate those situations or what did you do in those situations when you tried to relate to us from your memories of when you were at that age. Instead of talking to us as what you know now.
Right.
Because we don't know that now. we don't get that yet. So we always feel like you're kind of like talking down at us. But if you bring yourself back to our age and tell us the stories from then, that might.
So you are saying that if you were to talk to your mother, where it's more like what did you do, and then it's the level of more you are equal and not something like I'm telling you this is how you should do it, that you it more realistic.
Yeah, of course, like my mom could have also made mistakes, so maybe she would tell me. It would be nice if like she were to tell me something like, oh yeah, I understand that, so I actually also did this. But May, like now that I'm this age, I realize that I shouldn't have done this. So then at least I'm hearing the advice and knowing that you're human too, right? Like
Right.
that would feel a lot better. That would be a fresher conversation.
That's so good. I think that is something a takeaway is that just not to speak down to them, to your children, but by getting that situation where it's parallel to you. Am I right to say that? Okay, cool. So again, a little disclaimer, this is purely a fun entertainment podcast, and I hope that you are enjoying this, and please leave lots of messages. Bye.
Bye.